Hey there, Janae with Palin Projects here, and in this week's video, I wanted to start some seeds. But first off, I wanted to go over the seeds that I'm going to start this week because my average last frost date is about Memorial Day weekend, so May 24th-ish. So we do have about, 3 months away from that, because this is the end of February, or mid-February-ish. So I'm going to be starting some perennials, some herbs, and then the longer growing season items. So first off, I'm going to be starting my celery. On the back part of the seed packet, it does say start indoors 10 to 12 weeks before your first frost. Celery will be ready to harvest as soon as the stalks are big enough to use, about 6 inches or longer. You can cut each stalk off at the end of the soil as needed, or harvest the whole plant at once. The whole plant will be about 3 inches in diameter when ready to harvest. So, this does say that it is cold tolerant as well. It says plant spacing is 6 inches and then 100 days until maturity. So that gives me roughly 3-ish months, 12 to 18 days before germination. Some of the other items that I was looking at growing are thyme. I have heard that this can be fairly difficult to grow. I have 300 seeds and I figured I'd give it a go. Worst comes to worst, I can pot it in indoors and have it as a nice herb for indoor growing and then move it outdoors once I'm ready for it. Basil, the same thing. I figured I'd get a jump start on my lemon basil because I can use it in cooking or in my drinks or something like that. Put it in a nice little pot once it gets big enough and let it grow on. I can either transfer that outside to the garden, or I can leave it in its pot and have it out on my patio or something like that. So that's pretty exciting. The other items that I wanted to start today are milkweed. This again is why I said read the back of your guys' seed packet. This one needs to be stratified, put in the refrigerator for 3 to 6 days before planting. So this will be a next week planter, which is fine. The next 2 items I wanted to start were asparagus and my rhubarb. When I look on the back of the asparagus, it says soak seeds 24 hours in advance and then sow indoors 2 to 3 months before last frost. So we're right in the time frame for asparagus, but I do need to put these into some water and I'll sow them tomorrow because 24 hours. So I'll sow them tomorrow afternoon. And then this Victorian rhubarb, it says soak seeds for 1 to 2 hours before planting. I'll get these in some water right away and then plant them later tonight. So like I said before, you really need to read your seed packet and follow the instructions, especially if they require soaking beforehand. If you don't soak your seeds, they're not going to germinate, or you're going to have a poor germination rate. So, or if you need to cold stratify like I do these milkweeds, these would not. I guess I shouldn't say they wouldn't, but I would have a very, very, very low germination rate. We do have snow on the ground right now too, and so I was hoping to actually get out maybe today, maybe tomorrow, and sprinkle some poppies on the ground. Someone told me that their best time of growing poppies was actually when they sowed the seeds or they sprinkled the seeds on top of snow. So I feel like this would be the perfect time, or the perfect the perfect time to start my poppies as well, since I have both of those varieties. The other items that I'm going to use to start my seeds, I like the Pro Helix seed starting tray. I have a couple different varieties. Honestly, pick this up at Walmart. They do just fine for me. I do have to pop them out though when they get a little bit bigger. I definitely have never gotten a plant to this stage. I have to pop them out and pot them up a little bit sooner than that stage. But you know, I don't mind the Helix trays. I have 6-pack trays that I'll be starting seeds in as well. I'm gonna start some seeds in just flats basically. So this black tray here, I bought some extras of these last year, and I'm gonna fill it full of dirt and start some seeds that way. I have seen soil blocks being used, so you're not using any plastic at all. I don't have a way to create those soil blocks right now. I just learned about it this year. So that's something new and interesting that I might try for next year. We'll see. Next item that I got, I did tell you guys that I used popsicle sticks or wooden sticks last year, and they rotted on me. So I did get these plastic sticks or stakes. I can write clearly on the side of them, and they're not gonna mold or anything like that. And I can reuse them. I'll be able to hopefully wipe off the Sharpie marker and reuse them for next year. I have my trusty Sharpie marker, my pitcher of water to wet down my seed starting soil before I plant the seeds in them. So I do have my Jiffy organic greenhouse quality mix seed starting soil. Again, it's what Walmart has. I haven't really gotten into the whole business of soil for my seeds and seed starting soil and mixing my own. I know people do that. I just haven't gotten into that yet since I'm a fairly new gardener to this type of gardening. And then down here, I have my 5-gallon bucket that I'll be just pouring the Jiffy mix into, and then the water to make sure that it's the correct consistency. So I'm very embarrassed to show you this 5-gallon bucket, but it is Justin's, so it's Seahawks. I know, don't hold it against him. We're gonna start by opening up our seed mix. There's our seed mix. Nice, light, and fluffy soil. Pouring that all in there. I probably won't need it all, but I can save it for the next time I start seeds as well. Look at that nice, fluffy soil. I'm so excited for this. Okay, rolling the sleeves up. We're gonna get dirty. Okay, I'm gonna pour all of this in, mix it around with my hands. Should have gotten my wooden spoon out, but that's okay. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So you want it so that you can form, and it's kind of coming out of my hands because I grabbed a little too much, but you can form a nice grip and nothing comes out of it. So let me mix this up and make sure that the bottom is all mixed in there. Okay, see that? That is perfect. So nice. So for my next step, I'm going to move that over. Move my seeds over. Don't get your seeds wet. So with this, then I just take big handfuls and put it into my seed tray. Okay, so I moved you guys down a little bit better so you can see better. But I just took a big handful and I'm just rubbing it across the top of this tray. Filling in all of the holes. You're gonna make a mess. But that's half the fun, right? Ooh, I don't know what that is. Yeah, gross. There we go. to gently tap each cell just to make sure that there isn't any air pockets. It's just a gentle tap. It's not forcing that soil down, because you don't want to compact that soil. You want to make sure that it's nice and airy for those seeds to create roots in. I always seem to have a hard time with the outside too. This would best be done in a garage or outdoors, but it's cold out there, so we are doing it on my kitchen counter. Move it over here so you guys can see. There we go. See, and just tapping it down just a little bit. Making sure all those air pockets are filled. So, while I'm finishing this up, could have I sowed tomatoes today? Yes. How do I decide what seeds I'm going to start indoors versus outdoors? Now, again, that information is going to be on the back of your seed packet. But at the same time, I chose to not start some of my herbs today because I feel like they're going to be better if I direct sow them outside. And I don't need to start them indoors either. My mint, stuff like that, it's pretty invasive anyways, and so I just chose to start all of those types of herbs outside. Tomatoes, like I said, I'll do tomatoes here in a couple of weeks. Tomatoes and peppers. Some of my flowers I'll start to do. But any vining crop, I know you can buy like cucumber starts and pumpkin starts and stuff like that. What I've been told and what I kind of saw last year with my experiment was those are better, for me at least, sown directly. So I'm going to start all of my cucumbers, pickles, any of my root crops. I know you can start root crops inside, but any of those I'm going to direct sow. I'm going to direct sow my peas, beans, stuff like that. Stuff that doesn't necessarily like having their, what we call feet, or their roots messed with. Direct sow those. Worst comes to worst, just start a couple seeds. And that's kind of what I'm going to do today with the rhubarb. So I'm going to open this rhubarb packet up. Again, it says soak seeds for 1 to 2 hours before planting. Set transplants out 4 to 6 weeks later, about the time of the last spring frost. So, grown as an annual in the hot summer regions. We are not a hot summer region. Rhubarb can be perennial for us, so I'm hoping that these are going to be perennial. So those are the, I don't know if it's going to focus, there we go. Those are the rhubarb seeds. I have quite a few in here, so I think I'll just start this many. If every one of these seeds comes up, I mean that's 2, 4, 6, 8, that's 10 rhubarb plants, and that's way more. I need like 1 or 2. So definitely if these come up and survive, then I'll be giving some rhubarb plants away, which I'm pretty excited for. That'll be fun. Fun gift. So it is about 3:30, so I'll give it 4:35, 5:30, so probably about 5 o'clock I'll sow those. The next thing I'm gonna do is write out, and I haven't opened these yet, but I am going to write out what I'm going to start. Get a couple out here. So I'm going to do lemon basil, thyme, and celery. Thyme and Utah tall celery. Okay. There's my markers. I don't know, and you can't really see them. can you? They're kind of bright. They're fun colors. I wanted to be fun with my seed starting this year. Okay, so I put the rhubarb in some water. I'm gonna get my Utah celery, lemon, basil, and thyme. So this says thyme is one of the most widely used culinary herbs. It has a lemony aroma with a subtle Mediterranean feel. Dry over the winter or grow fresh on the windowsill. Leaves are green at the base of the plant and become beautiful bluish green as the leaf grows and matures. Okay, zones 2 through 10. Perennial. Oh, that's interesting. We'll see if this is perennial. It'll be a fun little experiment for next year. This is not saying what to plant them at. Usually on the back it says to plant them like a 1/4 of an inch or quarter, 1/2 inch, whatever. I'm gonna just kind of poke some holes. 2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 12. If I have 3 here, so 12, 12, and 12, and then that leaves me the rhubarb, asparagus, and milkweed. So I think that works. 2 rows of each. And then again, guess what? I can give some away. So excited. So there's 300 seeds in this packet. Maybe. Oh. Look at these seeds. So on the smaller seeds, they put them into a little plastic baggie. I don't know if you guys if it'll focus on that. Look at how tiny those seeds are. They are just little nuggets. So I'm just gonna kind of tap the soil here because they are so small. Make little indents. And then I'm gonna put, since I did get these seeds this year, I'm gonna put 2 seeds per tray, or I'm going to. They are very, very small. I'll get a couple more out here. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, and then put the rest back. There we go. And then, so what I'm going to do with these guys is I'm going to take a little bit of seed starting mix and I'm just going to cover them up lightly. See if that works. And again, you know, these are herbs. No harm, no foul if they don't come up. I can restart them. I have, you know, 250 more seeds to go. That's a lot of time. Oh my goodness. It's exciting though. I'm excited to start seeds. There we go. Okay. Barely cover them up and we're good to go for thyme. So I'm gonna put this, we'll put it in the back here. So then these 2 rows mean that that's thyme. Okay, so let's move on to, let's go basil. We'll go basil. I always think of The Great Mouse Detective when I say basil. Yeah. So, these ones are a little bit bigger. I'll put them into my hand. They're, I would say, probably about twice the size of the thyme seed. I don't know if that's focusing, but they're about twice the size. So I think, yeah, these don't say the depth to plant them either. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put little indentations here. And if these don't grow, I have more to sow. There's two, 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 two. Basil, it's hard for me. I tend to kill basil because I overlove it, which is fine. But basil also is fun in flower arrangements. So I'm sowing, I would like to sow a little bit more of basil too, just for, you know, cut flower arrangements for the summertime, for that greenery. And then it smells lovely too. Let's grab some more. There we go. You can hear Adeline. She's playing. Okay. I think we have the basil covered up. Pat that down a little bit. Again, I'm not patting like super hard, and I think I did these instead of this one. Oh well. I just gently press it down. Okay, since I think I screwed up, I think I'm gonna leave this one blank and then go to these two. And if nothing comes up, then we'll plant rhubarb or something else in that one. Oops. So these next ones, yeah, no planting depth. No planting depth on the celery. I plan on succession sowing the celery just so I have them to eat throughout the year or the season. There's 700 seeds in here, so that's quite a few seeds. I think I need a little more soil in this cell. There we go. Okay. Let's open this packet up. I am assuming this is going, oh no, look. Can you see those seeds in there? Yeah, they're pretty good size too. That was not what I was expecting. Actually, they look a lot like carrot seed. That's exciting. Can you see those? So, again, I'll just try and get at least two. Oop, that was a little more than two. 2 seeds per cell. Now, some of the tomato seed that I have is older than this year. Like, I didn't buy it this year. So I'll probably sow like 3 to 4 seeds in each cell for that a little bit later on. But for these, they're new seeds, so we'll go with that. Again, gently cover up those seeds. There we go. Okay. And then put my nice little marker in. Okay. So I'll come back a little bit later tonight and sow the rhubarb seeds. Okay, so I'm back. It's been about an hour and a half-ish. On the Baker Creek seed packets, it does say seed depth is 1/2 inch to 1 inch. So I am going to first make my tag. You always think you're going to remember, and you don't. Okay, there's my tag. I am going to go down about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. If you have a little dibbler, like a little stick, that works. I just kind of use my fingers. And then I'm gonna put 1 seed per cell. If it'll come off my hand. Just plucking them right out of the water and putting them in the holes that I made. Some of these got stuck together. Well, that might be it for rhubarbs. And that's okay. I mean, what, there's 2, 4, 6, 8. I don't know where the other 2 went. Maybe they got stuck together and I'll have 2 plants in 1 cell. So I'm going to cover these back up. Okay. And then I'll put a little extra just to top off each cell. So. Okay. After that's done, just put your tag in. And then I'm going to transfer these to the black tray and put the humidity dome over the top to keep in the moisture. So I'm going to keep the humidity dome on these until I see germination. Perfect world, I should have probably checked the packets and seen how long till germination. So this is 7 to 14. 7 to 14, 12 to 18, see depth, 7 to 21. So luckily these all kind of sprout in the same time range. So when it starts to sprout in here, I'll take the humidity dome off and just be sure to bottom water, and then the soil will wick up that moisture from the bottom. So I'll leave the top on until I see little green sprouts, and then I'll take it off so that you don't get mold or something like that on the top of your soil. So the next step is to put this underneath the grow lights so that it has lots of light. These seeds do not require light to germinate, so I don't have to put them under the grow light right away, but I'm just going to do it because I have the space, and then I don't have to remember to check on them to see if they've germinated yet. So they'll just go underneath the grow lights right away, and that will be it until they start growing. So I hope you're having a great week, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you!